Rossoneri, and welcome to Casa Milan Studios. We are ready for a new weekly episode of our AC Milan Talk with all the going song of our favorite club, both on and off the pitch. But first of all, let me say hello to my two guests. Welcome to Adriano Del Monte. Hi Adriano, how are you?
Hello Licia. Hello Sheridan. Doing fine. Good to see you both.
And welcome also to Sheridan Bird. Hi Sheridan.
Hello Licia. Hello Adriano. Looking forward to today's episode.
Plenty of talking points, new performances and new fixtures to discuss, so let's start as always with our men's first team. Taking a little step back to the 35th Serie A match day, the Rossoneri and the Rosso Blu battle out with a 3-3 draw, and the Rossoneri that also lived a strange atmosphere in San Siro. But what about this match, Adriano? A very tough one.
A tough one, a little step forward to getting second place, almost there. Look, what is there to say? Obviously 3-3 was an entertaining match. Didn't start the way we would have liked, but again, fought back into it, got ahead, and then obviously Genoa very late on stealing a point at the death. Look, it's obviously a strange part of the season now. The team recovering from the disappointment of Europe, and now a handful of games left in Serie A as we start to enter the warmer months here in Italy. And it was that sort of game. I think there was look, Florenzi getting the goal there. I think this was the first moment, Sharon, we saw a lot of feeling in the match. Florenzi's celebration really willed the players back into the match, and they started to find some of their better form that we've seen of late. But look, in the end, obviously, Gabbia there with a goal, and our man Giroud again getting on the score sheet. But look, in the end, I think a point. It's disappointing. A fine finish there from Giroud. He continues to do some wonderful things. Another goal. He's so prolific. But in the end, of course, Licia, disappointment to only take 1 point at home against Genoa.
6 goals thriller at San Siro, Sheridan, and the Rossoneri are living a particular period, but we come away from this match maybe with a bitter taste in the mouth.
Yeah, certainly. It's always great to score 3 goals at home against a quality team like Alberto Gilardino's Genoa, but the defensive problems were there again, it has to be said. It was one, like you said, that for the neutrals it was very exciting, but obviously this is AC Milan talk, where there are no neutrals here, so it's disappointing to concede 3 goals. Defensive reshuffles, of course, due to injuries, which we've discussed multiple times. I would say the positives are another goal for Gabbia. He's becoming the Milan goal machine. He's been such a fine returning player, let's say, since he came back in January. And also Florenzi getting on the score sheet after a long time, which was good to witness. But other than that, a 3-3 draw. You want to win your home games. It didn't happen. And just have to look forward, focus upon the next game.
And after the 90 minutes on the pitch, the words and the thoughts shared with Milan TV by our head coach Stefano Pioli. Let's listen.
Purtroppo abbiamo sbagliato inizio partita, questo ha complicato tutto. Poi devo dire che la squadra ha reagito, l'ha fatto anche con determinazione, l'ha fatto anche con la qualità giusta fino all'area avversaria, e poi tante volte o il tiro o l'ultimo passaggio non ci ha garantito una soluzione migliore. Però abbiamo avuto una grande reazione, è un peccato non essere riusciti a gestire il vantaggio, perché sarebbe stato molto importante chiaramente per il morale, per la classifica, per tutto quello che stiamo vivendo. E c'era rammarico, c'era rimpianto, perché la squadra aveva reagito molto bene, con grande generosità, con orgoglio, con tutto quello che doveva fare, e purtroppo abbiamo preso un gol su una situazione dove sicuramente potevamo fare meglio. Noi dobbiamo prepararci bene perché il secondo posto non è ancora conquistato, abbiamo bisogno ancora di punti e cercare di mettere in campo una prestazione più continua e più attenta in tutti i 95 minuti, perché quando hai questi cali poi dopo immancabilmente l'avversario ti può colpire, quindi dobbiamo essere sicuramente più attenti e più determinati, soprattutto all'inizio delle 2 frazioni di gioco.
This the words shared by our head coach Stefano Pioli, and the second place isn't mathematically secure, so the next features will be very important games and opportunities.
We saw the standings a few moments ago. I did some quick maths for you, Sheridan. 4 points away from securing second place. So, no, it's not mathematically secure just yet. Obviously, 3 fixtures still to play. The key word I take away from Mr. Pioli's words there was the regret. And look, it has been the case. The reaction was well, the quality was there, but just regret for not capitalising on the quality we saw over the course of the 90 minutes as they built into the match. And unfortunately, it has been a bit of a story of the season at times where this team have performed exceptionally well. I've been covering the Champions League very closely, Sheridan, you know that, and Paris Saint-Germain and Dortmund were in the semi-final this week. They were 2 teams that were in our group that we matched, both home and away. This is a team in Milan that are more than capable of matching the very best in Europe, and this season has proven that. But like every season, there are always difficulties, and Mr. Pioli speaking about there, how do we overcome them, how do we react, how do we return to our best? This team have the ability to get back to the top domestically and in Europe. There's no doubt about that. We just need to see just that conviction and that consistency, and I think we'll get there.
A bit of regret among Stefano Pioli's words, especially when he talked about the first and the final minutes of the match.
Yeah, I think that the biggest issue this season has been the difficulty in playing the first choice defence, all 4 defenders, and including the goalkeeper, who is the last line of defence, as the phrase goes. So there have been times, or many times, when Milan or Mr. Pioli hasn't been able to select his first choice goalkeeper and defenders. And over the course of a season, 9-10 months, it has an impact. And that's why at the weekend, Milan didn't keep the clean sheet, scored 3 goals at home, fine goals as well, some of them, but weren't able to keep the clean sheet. And now it's about getting second place locked up, because it's not the championship, obviously, which is what Milan are aiming for, but it's still, you know, it's a good achievement to finish second with a season obliterated by injuries, to be honest. So I'll leave the tactics to Mr. Pioli and the maths to Adriano, but it's important to get second place locked up.
A bitter draw. This was the main concept expressed by our rossoneri in their post-match reactions, and among these, the one shared with Milan TV by Alessandro Florenzi, who was the first one on the rossoneri score sheet on Sunday. But let's listen to his words together.
L'atteggiamento è stato giusto, abbiamo dato tutto quello che avevamo e quindi va bene così. Poi le partite si possono vincere, perdere o pareggiare, l'importante è uscire a testa alta con l'impegno dato sempre al 110%. Ho visto Ciupu che insomma mi ha visto e quindi è stato sicuramente un bel gol, però vale, non dico 0, ma qualcosa del genere per quello che mi riguarda, perché è più importante la squadra e l'ho sempre pensato e continuerò a pensarlo, quindi se vincevamo era meglio anche se non avessi fatto nessun gol.
The team performance and the final result is more important than the personal performance. So this is a very important and interesting concept by Florenzi.
Of course, he's spot on. I love the way Florenzi plays. I think, and you can see in the way that he speaks, the way that he handles himself. Of course, it's a bittersweet feeling. He gets that goal, brought the team back into it, brought the crowd into life, brought the team into life. But of course, he'd give up that goal 10 times out of 10 for all 3 points. So you can feel the disappointment there. But look, as we enter now these final fixtures of the season, this whole final stretch, it is about generating as much positive momentum and energy as possible to take that into next season. Off the back of all the positivity we've seen this campaign, Sheridan said it has been an injury-ravaged season. No excuses. Still finishing second will be a great achievement, but it has been very difficult in the difficult times. Characters like Florenzi, the leaders of this club, taking that positivity into the next season, I think we're set for a very exciting 24-25 campaign, but let's finish this one off first and foremost.
Looking to the weekend, to the 36th Serie A match day, next up will be Cagliari, a team that is living a very particular period considering their most recent results. But what about Ranieri's side, Sheridan?
They're a very tough nut to crack. I mean, it's always difficult playing Cagliari, particularly when they've got such a wise old head in charge in the form of Claudio Ranieri, who is a veteran, and I mean that in a complimentary sense. He's been around, he's seen it all, he's done everything, he's got all the T-shirts and other cliches about longevity. But he will make it tough for Milan. It will not be easy. And I think it's a game that we're talking about getting second place sorted. Milan have just... I think the way to do that is honestly to keep a clean sheet. Because I'm pretty confident that Milan will find the net. So if now after that it's a 0-0, I cursed it, I will take the responsibility. But the firepower in this Rossoneri squad is impressive. It's just about now tightening up at the defence, or at the back rather, and keeping a clean sheet.
And we're taking a look at the highlights of the match played in September, but we also remember very well what happened at the Unipol Domus. A great performance and a great result for the Rossoneri.
Absolutely, of course, it was the Coppa Italia meeting as well this year between Milan and Cagliari. A lot of recent success against his club, and as Sheridan said, this is a match where, when we're talking the race for second, this is one you want to be winning with respect to the opponent. Saturday evening, San Siro, one of the final opportunities for the fans to have a look at their heroes up close this season. So big opportunity, but they came to San Siro, they came to Milan a few weeks ago to take on Inter. It was a 2-2, that one finished. So they must be respected, as must each and every opponent in this competition. I think it should be a focus, I agree, on the defence. Let's get a clean sheet. Let's see a clean sheet. There is the attacking quality, firepower. There will be goals. I would love to see, this time next week when we're reflecting on what's taken place, a Sheridan clean sheet will be wonderful.
That's all, guys, for Stefano Pioli's side. Good luck to our Rossoneri. And now let's move on with our women's team. Sofia's finish was enough for our women to win at the Vismara Puma House of Football against Como. But what about this match, Adriano?
Well, it was important to respond from the drop points in the round prior, and it was good to see a hard-fought win. It was a hard-fought 1-0 win, which guarantees the top place finish of this bottom half. So, look, a 1-0 against Como. I asked for that perfect finish to the season. There is the confirmation. You can see 8 points.
The maths
clear.
check out for you today.
The maths check
Adriano's
out.
happy with the maths, everyone.
There are 2 fixtures remaining in the women's season, so if Cornwall gets 6, that's still not enough.
That's 57. No.
So no, look, it was important to respond from the drop points the round prior. Hard-fought 1-0 win against the Cornwall team, who have been tough to beat for even the very best in the competition this season. So positive, and let's make it 2 from 2 to round out the campaign.
Yeah, Cordy's side has immediately returned to winning ways, forgetting the draw against Pomigliano.
Exactly. I have to say it had a real end-of-season feel about it, this match. It was the second half, without being disrespectful, it wasn't a classic, but this goal from Angelica Sofia, a really powerful header, the neck muscles to do that. She powered it into the corner. It was a great cross from the captain, Bergamaschi. The header was brilliant. Second half, I think both sides, because it was quite warm after quite a cold or rainy period of 2 months here. So it was actually quite hot on Sunday when they played, and I think both sets of players felt the fatigue. So the second half wasn't a classic, but getting 3 points is always classic. So it was a good result.
And next up will be against Napoli, and our Rossoneri need to show once again the maximum commitment and charge to come away with another victory.
They do, and they will. That's my prediction. That's my bold prediction for the week. They're going to finish off very strong this season. Away to Napoli. We know where Napoli are in the standings. Again, must respect the opponent. But again, we want to finish off on a high. Of course, the warmer weather has now arrived. So with these last couple of months, with these last couple of fixtures now, can be excused for that sort of end of season feel. But certainly a strong finish is expected.
Your feelings, Sheridan?
I agree. It will be hot in Naples, certainly, and they're a team that we know they've struggled. And Milan, I think it's a good chance also to bring in some of the younger players. It's a really good chance to. There is the boss, Mr. Corti. It's a good chance for him just to try and give some of the players that haven't had so many minutes on the pitch, like Silvia Rubio, who's been fantastic, a chance to just taste Serie A action. It's in a hostile environment. It's not easy to go and play against Napoli, but on the pitch, I think Milan should have the measure of the Azzurre.
So good luck to our Rossoneri for their face-to-face against Napoli. And now let's move on with our under-19s. Primavera draw in 1-1 as a final result in Lecce. About his side, we're missing many key players during the last match, but they could respond in part to their most recent defeat in league.
Absolutely. Look, the story of the season has been the fact they haven't been at full strength for many matches. So, again, at the weekend, a draw away to Lecce there, 1-1. I think for Mr. Abate, what he's been able to do, obviously the run in Europe, but the relatively consistent performances in the domestic competition, despite the absences. We know how many of them have found themselves on the bench of Mr. Pioli's first team, but to still be there, 7th place, in the mix of a very high finish in the standings, it's no mean feat. So, yes, only a point away to Lecce in the bottom half of the standings, but I think there's plenty to take away from this season. And for Mr. Abate, I'm really excited to see where his future goes and takes him as a coach, because what he did last season, how they've built on it this season has been commendable.
Sheridan, what about this final part of the season, considering the draw against Lecce and considering the next up will be against Frosinone and Primavera?
Yeah, the match against Lecce, Milan had the lion's share of the possession, made most of the chances, but it just didn't go in. And when Milan's goal did arrive, it was a very scrappy goal. This is the goal we're going to see here. I wouldn't say it's going to be on many people's YouTube collections of Milan goals of the season, but it still counted, and it was gave Milan the 1-0 lead. But after only 4 or 5 minutes, Lecce equalised, which was a bit of a blow for the team. And this is another chance to see it. It's not goal of the season, as you can tell, but
They all count.
They all count. They do, and it was a frustrating match. And the only thing I'd say is it would be a real shame if this squad, this group, didn't make the playoffs, because they have got the quality to win the league, not just to be in the playoffs. But as we often discuss, they've lost key players of the team to the first team squad, which in itself is a compliment and it's a big achievement. But it would be a real sporting shame if the team can't reach the playoffs, because they deserve to be fighting for the title. But it has been a fine season, and the next match against Frosinone, well, Frosinone are bottom, so you would have to expect this Milan team to get the better of the team from the Lazio region. But football isn't straightforward. Football isn't maths. Sorry, Adriano.
That's okay.
Football is, it defies logic, so it will be tough. But I'd like the team to start winning again, because we know what they're capable of. And some of these draws and defeats are a bit disappointing, a bit frustrating.
A very important weekend for our under-19s, but with the focus on our youngest talents, we come to the end of this weekly episode. So thanks to Adriano Del Monte and Sheridan Bird. See you next week, guys.
Thank you, guys. A lot of fun as always.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. See you soon.
Dear Rossoneri, that's all for today. Thanks for following us. See you again, as always, on our AC Milan Talk. Ciao.